What is up, ladder climbers? Antoine Wade here with Elevate to the Unknown and BLKHeights.com. It is Wednesday morning, August the 27th at 7 a.m. Central. And y'all, man, I got some shocking news for you guys this morning. Stanford University, the beautiful Stanford out there in sunny California, they just dropped a bombshell study. And the study says that AI stole 13% of young men's jobs while you were sleeping. Not some jobs, not random jobs, specifically targeted young men aged 22 to 25. We're talking about software developers, customer service reps, entry-level positions, all gone. All gone, guys. But here's what's crazy. The same companies that eliminated these jobs are now paying $270,000 to people who manage the AI that replaced them. I've been up since 3:30 this morning, got up, went to the gym, got myself a nice little arm workout, and came back to the house to go through the Stanford report. And this isn't just a job loss. This is targeted against young workers, disguised as technological progress. That's what it is. I'm like, if you think about it, they used AI to target young folks. They used AI to replace entry-level folks. And while entry-level jobs are being eliminated, there are jobs that's being created that pays a lot higher. And those jobs are managing the AI systems. Those jobs are preventing AI lawsuits. Those jobs are paying double what the entry-level jobs are paying. So there are opportunities as well for you guys. Let me break this down for you. Take a sip of this coffee, guys. Let's see who's all in the house today. We got Lynn Eleanor in the house, home. You all had a great night. Absolutely. NC Realtors in the house. Good morning, everyone. This coffee is hitting today. I need it. I had an entry, very interesting evening yesterday. Let me go into this quick story. Let me just get away from the topics because I'm a father. I'm a husband. That's my full-time job as well as what I come on here and do on the 7 o'clock morning. But yesterday, I'm working. My wife calls me over and she's like, can you come over here and talk to me and Ari? You know, I'm working. I'm in the middle of the workday grinding, right? And I'm like, something ain't right. She's going to call me and says, can you come over here and talk to me and Ari? Ari is my daughter, okay? So I'll go in the room and talk to her. And my wife's in tears. My daughter's in tears. I'm like, oh, man, what happened? Right? You know, what happened? Is she going through a health? You know, when little girls of a certain age, they start to experience little things. You know what I mean? So the first thing that came to mind was like, she may have experienced a menstrual cycle or something like that. But that wasn't it. Long story short, my daughter has scoliosis, right? So she has a curvature in her spine. And she has, her back muscles are developed a little bit uneven. Nothing that's really noticeable or anything like that. But two girls in her school came up to her during lunch and asked her why her back was like that. And they said it in a way that impacted her confidence, and they said it in a way that impacted her feelings. So it was hurtful for her, and that was the first time ever experiencing something like that because they said it was weird. As a father, you know, hearing that, it immediately broke my heart. That's what it did. Not only did it break my heart, it gave me the ability to listen, console, and be a father. That's what it allowed for me to do. And also to put things in perspective, but also give her words of wisdom that these are things that you're going to experience throughout your life. Daddy gets on YouTube every single day, Monday to Friday, and somebody has something to say all the time. I told you guys a story about the gentleman or the lady who says, man, Antoine, well, how come your eyebrows are so far from your eyes? You know, I get comments every single day. When you put yourself out there, you get comments. The biggest thing that I shared with my daughter last night was that don't change who you are. Be yourself. God has created you this way for you to shine your light. And don't let anybody cause that light to dim. Because when people say something to you, they want what you have usually. They have a bit of something in them that wants to make themselves feel a little bit better. And I don't know if these two girls, that what they were doing or they were jealous, but it definitely was hurtful. So Dad had to go into his daddy moment, and it bothered me all night to the point where I didn't sleep as good last night because of how I know she felt. She was exhausted by the end of the day. And, you know, when things like this happen, and it's our first time experiencing it as husband and wife as well, as father and mom, you want to make sure that you prepare your kids as much as possible, but you also carry some of the burden that they have as well too. So I didn't sleep as good last night. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys because, you know, as much as I get on here and I am, you know, ready to go, life happens. It's all about how you bounce back. And I said that to my daughter. Life happens, and it's all about how you bounce back. So 3 things that's happening right now that connects AI and jobs in ways that most people are going to miss, but you need to understand. The first thing is that the Stanford study proves that AI eliminated 13% of entry-level jobs for men in 3 years. But older workers doing the same jobs kept their position. To me, that may sound like discrimination. I don't know what it sounds like to you guys, but to me, it sounds like discrimination. I don't know if they're going to call it that, though. The second thing that we're going to talk about today is Google, Amazon, and Apple are now spying on their workers in ways that create massive legal problems. And these companies need specialists who can implement surveillance without allowing them to get sued. It's an opportunity. The third thing that we're going to talk about is tonight at 4:30 p.m., Nvidia, the earnings will decide if this job death, if the job elimination accelerates even more, or if companies make a pivot to damage control. But either way, there are opportunities that are going to be created for people who position themselves correctly. And this is why we do the Daily Climb. Guys, go ahead and drop your city in the chat so that I can see where you guys are coming from. More importantly, hit that like button, share it with your friends, share it with your family, because we're going to dive into my report today. And I got some good data for you guys. Jay Price is in the house. Lean Eleanor says, very, very important for a father to be in the life of their children. You ain't lying about that. Boy, oh boy. It's very, very important. And to be present in their lives. You can be in their lives, but if you are just coming home and working and not really having those conversations, you know, just going with the peace, It's almost as if sometimes you're not even there. But y'all, Stanford University. Stanford. Let's go here real quick. Stanford University. They just released a report about corporate America. It's probably one of the most damning reports since I've had a chance to read it this morning. They look back at paycheck data from millions of workers through ADP. You guys know ADP, the payform, the paycheck platform, the small business platform, the ones who handle a lot of your paychecks. They collect a whole bunch of data, and they give that data to economists and so forth. And it predicts, how many small businesses, how many jobs are created and so forth. But Stanford used that same data to look back at paycheck data of millions of Americans. And the results that they determined was that AI eliminated 13% of entry-level jobs for workers aged 22 to 25. But here's the part that proves that this was targeted. Older workers doing the exact same jobs, they kept their positions. So they didn't eliminate these jobs because of market conditions. They eliminated these jobs because of AI. And AI could do the work for free instead of paying entry-level salaries to train young workers. That's what they did. I'm going to share the Stanford study right here.
Let's do a deep dive into AI. Artificial intelligence growing at lightning speed. College grads and young workers wonder what the technology means for their careers. And according to a report from Wired, economists at Stanford University say they found the strongest evidence yet that AI is starting to eliminate certain jobs. So it's a good time to bring in Will Knight, senior writer for Wired and author of the AI Lab newsletter. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's break this down. Tell us about this new research and what jobs AI will take.
Hi, yes, thanks for having me. So this report is really interesting. We often hear people say that certain jobs are going to be eliminated or there's going to be widespread unemployment, but actually there's been relatively little data to back that up. So this looked at payroll data for several years, ever since ChatGPT came online. And it shows that rather than specific types of jobs, it's particular categories of jobs and certain types of workers, mostly less experienced younger workers. So this makes sense because tools like ChatGPT can automate some of the simplest tasks, the kinds of things you might have like an intern or a junior person do in certain industries. So in places like coding or customer support, those are areas which are most sort of vulnerable to AI.
Let's talk about the good side of this, okay? It's not going to take all jobs. AI could actually create opportunities, and where might we see those?
Right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's important to know that another thing that they found was in some cases, people even in those industries, saw their job opportunities increase sometimes because there are new roles for people to oversee AI and make sure that it's not making mistakes. So now one of the things is we don't know how things are going to pan out in the future, but this does suggest that there may be new categories of work. And the economists behind this recommend that what we need to do is start to think about maybe better ways of having AI and humans work together. So they recommend, additionally to this report, the idea of having benchmarks that measure how well humans and AI can collaborate, and that may encourage companies to develop new types of jobs and exploit new opportunities. There may be whole new businesses that could emerge from that.
You heard it. You heard it. This is what we talk about every single morning, guys. This is why we have this show every single morning. This report dropped yesterday. We are one of the first to break it. But tech companies ultimately eliminated 18% of entry-level programming jobs since ChatGPT launched. Customer service companies, they cut 22% of customer support representative roles. Accounting firms, they reduced 15% of junior accountant roles. Think about this. You graduate college because Our moms and dads told us to go to college. Antoine, go to college. You got to get yourself an education. Antoine followed. I listened. Okay. Your mom and dad are telling you the exact same thing. Go to college. Go and get that stuff. Go get yourself a degree. It doesn't matter what kind of degree you get. Just get yourself a degree. A lot of us went out there and chose those basket weaving degrees, those degrees that don't really mean anything because we weren't educated. Nobody taught us which degrees meant more money in your pocket. Or if they did, we didn't listen. Now, I got to say for myself, I did listen. But either way, you go to college, you have student loans. You need work experience. Companies tell you, sorry, we got AI now. Then they turn around and hire a $270,000 specialist to manage the AI that replaced you. So these college graduates are graduating from out of college with no opportunities anymore. Not one opportunity anymore. And Business Insider came across this article on yesterday, confirms that unemployment among young men is rising faster than young women. Young men leaving the workplace, entirely because entry-level paths have disappeared. They've disappeared. And this is what a lot of these paths are. I'm going to share another video with you.
Well, now, for nearly 40 years, spreadsheet mastery has been a rite of passage in a multitude of entry-level jobs, from investment banking to private equity to consulting, and that may be about to change thanks to AI. I welcome this, Leslie.
Yeah, because you were a spreadsheet cruncher.
No, but I wasn't very good at it.
You were an Excel monkey?
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it for 5 years before I joined CNBC, and I always was way slower. Do you know what? Not just than my colleagues, than my late, great older brother. He was a machine on it, and it just always annoyed me.
So for some people, it literally clicks. When I started in business school, I literally bought a Excel for Dummies book, read it. Still, I'm terrible at Excel. But just within the last month, here's some good news. There's been a slew of AI product launches that aim to take on Excel or Google Sheets. One of them, called Shortcut.ai, went viral when its Excel agent was unveiled in late July. The technology can build a discounted cash flow model from scratch in minutes. The CEO, Nico Christie, told us that Shortcut is already serving thousands of paying customers at thousands of companies, mostly through individual lower-level employees.
The work that you do tends to be very time consuming, and I wouldn't say menial, but, repetitive. And what you would rather be doing is doing what the associates and managers do at these firms, which is mostly reviewing the work that takes more time to do. So now that we can have AI that can actually do 4 hours of work in 20 minutes, it's a no-brainer in terms of ROI and making the switch over.
Christie said that ROI unleashed a battlefield in the race for superhuman Excel agents. Shortcut's parent company, Fundamental Labs, has raked in more than $40 million in funding from Prosus Ventures, Andreessen Horowitz, and First Spark, to name a few. OpenAI just invested $14 million in something similar called Endex. General Catalyst just seeded another company called Paradigm, and Google and Microsoft have been quickly rolling out AI features to defend their spreadsheet turf. So far,
you heard it. Even Excel gurus, they tell you to go to college and, they tell you to go and buy that course so that you can become a Excel expert. All you financial analysts, all you folks who are going into analyst roles, you got to know Excel. Guess what? Now they have Excel agents out there eliminating those jobs as well. Had a CEO just came on and said, work that took you 4 hours to do because you had to crank through in Excel, work that people were happy to do, work that typically would be assigned to entry-level individuals. Now that work is eliminated. That work is gone because now they have AI agents that can do Excel and turn 4 hours worth of work into 20 minutes. So companies specifically eliminated career paths that young men historically used to enter the professional world. And this is the reason why job market for young boys is getting worse. This is potentially age and gender discrimination disguised as technological progress. This is targeting certain groups of people, people with no experience, no professional networks, no legal resources to fight back. Think about that. During the Stanford study, a professor, Eric Brenneshoffen, he calls this the fastest job elimination since COVID. But one thing about COVID, he explained, was that COVID brought jobs back. These jobs are gone permanently. They are gone. No more. December 2022, ChatGPT launches. Everybody's hyped about it. I remember I got on the ChatGPT train December 2022. January 2023, companies start evaluating AI for routine tasks. March 2023, the first wave of entry-level job, those jobs are being eliminated. By December 2024, 13% of these jobs were eliminated. 18 months. That's how long it took to eliminate over 1 million entry-level jobs. But here's the thing that the Stanford report isn't saying to anybody. The Stanford report is not going to give you guys the opportunities like we're going to talk about on the show. Because while companies eliminated 13% of entry-level jobs, they also created new jobs, higher paying jobs, jobs like managing the AI systems that replace the human workers. That's what happened. Stanford, that study isn't saying anything about that. So the jobs that are created now are the jobs that we've been talking about. AI specialists, AI implementation specialists, the AI surveillance specialists. These individuals monitor employee compliance with AI usage requirements. You remember we did the story on yesterday? How Microsoft, Shopify are all monitoring the AI usage of their employees, and they're making it a requirement. We're going to talk about that in segment 2 as well. But companies now need AI surveillance specialists to conduct the monitoring to make sure that people are using the AI. And these individuals, the AI surveillance specialists, some people may call them, I don't know if you want to call them the AI police, right? You got to use AI. If you don't use AI, you're going to get written up. If you don't use AI, you're going to get fired. AI police, right? They're getting paid from $95,000 to $175,000. Algorithm bias prevention managers, a new job that was created. Their job is to make sure that AI doesn't discriminate and cause lawsuits. Their job is important. They're getting paid from $110,000 to $185,000 a year. You also have AI performance optimization consultants, new job that was created. Their job is to fix AI systems that ain't working properly. Salary for them is $125,000 all the way up to $270,000 per year. Corporate AI compliance officers. These individuals are responsible for fixing AI systems that ain't working properly as well, but also navigating the legal requirements for AI employee monitoring. Because with all this AI monitoring, the reality of it is some of it isn't legal. And you know what companies are going to do? They're going to find themselves in a position where they're going to end up getting sued potentially. So they have to have these corporate AI compliance officers to help navigate the legal requirements of AI employee monitoring. These individuals are getting paid a whole bunch of money, $105,000 to $195,000. So if you've heard what I just said, they have people, AI compliance officer. I mean, that's somebody in the legal profession. That's somebody who's went and got a law degree. They have all sorts of roles related to AI now that's being created because of these new requirements, because of the elimination of the entry-level jobs. The challenge, though, is that where does one start? I'm like, that's the challenge. You go to school and spend all this money on a degree. How do you even get the opportunities? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But here's the real issue. The real issue is that companies are hiring people at double the salary they refuse to pay. They refuse to pay entry-level folks. That's basically what it is. They're hiring people at double the salary of the jobs that they eliminated. And you got to think about it. For every 5 jobs that were eliminated, that's 1 employee. They're still saving money. And the reason why is because managing AI systems requires expertise that didn't exist before. But they also require expertise they didn't want to develop in entry-level employees. So they basically said, you know what, there's a wall now between college and these corporations. I want to know how this is going to impact. And you guys give me your perspective on this. How is this going to impact schools? Are schools now going to figure out a way how their students can get employed? Are they going to now start giving them the skills so that they can come into the market ready to work? Because those entry-level jobs are gone now. They're being eliminated. Now, let me expose the corporate surveillance, because this is something that I came across yesterday as well. They're spying. They're spying on us. They want you to use AI. If you don't use AI, you might be fired. You know, in that video that I did yesterday, and I talked about how Google is watching their individuals, and if they don't use AI, they potentially could be eliminated. And I had this thumbnail that basically says you're fired, right? Had an individual in the comment section. Love comment sections, right? Because they're like, that's not what they said. This is clickbait. They didn't say that. They're going to fire you. I said, what do you think happens if you don't use AI? And then it's a mandate. It's a compliance issue. What do you think is going to happen? You guys tell them. What's going to happen if you don't use AI and your company's mandating that you use AI? That's a compliance issue, so there are repercussions to that. If you don't use it, you're going to get fired. Some people just don't understand that doesn't click for everyone. And while everyone is distracted by the AI eliminating jobs, corporate America launched the biggest surveillance operation in history. I'm telling you, Google, Amazon, Apple, they are spying on workers in ways that create massive legal problems. We talked about Microsoft on yesterday, but Google now requires employees to use AI tools for performance reviews. You miss your AI usage quota, you get a bad performance rating, you don't use Gemini enough, no bonus. You refuse AI monitoring, you're fired. And they call it a skills-based evaluation. And it's really mandatory surveillance disguised as professional development. That's basically what it is. And workers report that AI usage directly impacts promotion. So if you don't use it, you're not getting promoted. If you don't use it, you won't get the salary increase that you want, that you deserve. You don't use it, you won't be climbing that ladder that you want to get to that position that you want to get to. And Google tracks every AI interaction, every prompt, every result, every productivity improvement. They track it all. That's what they're doing now, guys. I mean, this isn't encouraging technology adoption. This is forced compliance with digital monitoring. They said, we told you to use AI. Boss man upstairs, you know, he's sitting down with his staff. It's like, man, we've already gotten some significant gains already. We're doing less. We're doing more with less. How can we do even more with less? This AI stuff is really cool. You got the guy at the top talking, right? And everybody else is around the table and they're talking about how they use AI and they see how much, you know, only 51% of the employees are using it, 49% not. And they're thinking of strategies of how we can get the other 49%, because if we get the other 49% to use AI, we can even do even more with less, which is decreases our expenses. If we grow revenue, our profits look better to our stakeholders. We all make a lot more money. So they're coming up with ways of how they can get people to use it. And they said, voluntary is not working anymore because voluntary only got us at 51%. Now we need to make this mandatory. We need to make it mandatory and we need to monitor it. So we're going to give them the tools and we're going to watch and see who all logs in, how many times they use it. And this is going to impact their performance. This is going to impact their salary. This is going to impact their salary, their raises. Now they have to use it. Now, once they are using it, we can eliminate some more people. We can grow revenue because we're selling ads and we're selling data and we're selling phones, Pixel phones. Revenue continues to go up. Antoine's on YouTube. YouTube views are going up. Now, with revenue going up, we cut the expensive and getting rid of half of these people. Profits look tremendous. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. It's strategy at its finest. Amazon deployed algorithmic management that uses AI to evaluate worker performance in real time. AI systems recommending firing people, recommending promoting people, recommending discipline employees based on productivity algorithms. So the AI watches how fast you work and how long you take breaks, which tasks you complete efficiently, then makes employment recommendations to managers who rarely override the algorithmic decisions. Ain't that something, man? And Amazon is expanding this from warehouses, because this is where it's being tracked right now, to office workers. So customer service teams, technical staff, everyone gets algorithmic performance evaluations. You know how we saw those videos sometime where maybe a year ago, they were inside of a coffee shop and the video showed how people were moving inside of a coffee shop, the staff and so forth. And it was AI that was really recording all this other stuff, right? That was true. This is being used. This is technology that's being used. Think about this. AI eliminates your entry-level jobs. If you get hired somewhere, AI monitors every move and decides if you keep the job. They control both ends of your career. Then you have Apple. So Apple, they're getting sued right now for employee phone spying. An Apple employee filed a federal lawsuit exposing company surveillance of personal devices. Apple requires workers to install monitoring software on private phones. It tracks their location during off hours. It records personal conversations. And the lawsuit reviews that Apple monitors employees' social media, their personal text message, their private email accounts, their dating app usage, their shopping habits, everything. And Apple claims it needs surveillance for trade secret protection. The lawsuit argues that it's illegal invasion of privacy that violates federal and state laws. This is the same Apple that runs commercials about privacy protection. Privacy is a fundamental human right, they say. They say this in all their ads. Meanwhile, they're spying on their own workers and the personal lives of their workers. Some people may say, you know what? That's completely fine. Some people say that's completely fine because I'm not doing nothing. I mean, like for me, spy all you want. I'm not doing anything. I'm giving people the game at 7 a.m. I'm taking care of my family. I'm coaching. Life's good for me. You can spy all you want. You can be in admiration. But to some people, that's hypocrisy. They don't want the companies knowing anything about them. And I completely understand both sides. I completely understand both sides. But every company that's going to copy Google, that's going to copy Amazon, that's going to copy Apple, they need specialists who can implement monitoring without getting sued like Apple is. They need experts who understand employment law. They need experts who understand privacy and regulations. They need individuals to implement this AI monitoring technology. They need risk management. But most importantly, they need people who can avoid massive legal liability. And what this does is this creates premium job opportunities because the skill combination is rare. Technology knowledge plus legal expertise plus business risk management, that is a combination to get you paid over $250,000. That's the combination to get you paid over $250,000 for salary. This is the intelligence that most people miss. These surveillance situations create 6-figure $250,000 job opportunities for people who can help companies spy on their workers legally. That's what it does. I'll go back to my slide here. It creates big time money opportunities for people. You have employee privacy compliance specialists paying them $105,000 to $180,000. Algorithmic bias prevention managers, $115,000 to $195,000. AI surveillance implementation consultants, $150,000 to $300,000 per year. Corporate AI ethics officer, $120,000 to $210,000 per year. These are ultimately spying jobs for corporate surveillance. These jobs weren't created a year ago. These jobs didn't even exist years ago. They didn't exist at all. So when they say, okay, well, you know what? AI is taking all the jobs, and you hear this study and you put the data together because you're learning and you're leveraging the data to create a story that's telling you the truth and the facts, right? And you see that they also are saying that new jobs will be created. And then you see these jobs being created. Then you wonder, how did we get these jobs? That's why we watch Daily Climb. You're the first one to know that these jobs are being created. You're one of the first ones to know how you can take advantage of your current skills, leveraging AI, and become one of these compliance managers. The AI police. There's nothing wrong with being an AI police. You get paid a whole bunch of money. Go and tell on PBO that he's not using AI like he's supposed to. Go and tell on Ant Dog like because he's not using AI. Tell on him. Tell on MJ Cannabis because they're not using AI. Tell on Jason because he's not using AI. Jason's going to be mad at you. But that's what these positions are created for. Let's talk about Nvidia. The company that is absolutely crushing it. In exactly a little over 8 hours, Nvidia announces earnings that determines if their surveillance accelerates or if companies pivot to damage control. Either outcome creates different premium job opportunities. But here's what's everyone's missing. The Nvidia results don't just affect stock prices. That's not the only effect of the results that they're going to share today. They also determine how aggressively companies implement AI surveillance over the next year. We talked about AI surveillance last segment. We're putting it together with Nvidia's earnings. A strong Nvidia earnings release means that companies are going to accelerate AI infrastructure spending. That means more AI systems. That means more people are going to be needed to monitor people who are using AI, which means that more jobs are going to be created. More surveillance specialists are going to be needed. More compliance individuals are going to be needed. A weak report, let's just say they don't live up to the numbers that is expected of them from Wall Street. It means that companies are going to focus on optimizing existing AI investments. Excuse me. They're going to optimize their existing AI investments, but they still need surveillance, because the study showed on yesterday where we talked about the MIT study, right? 95% of AI pilots fail. Well, they want to make sure that their investments, they're getting an ROI on their investment. So they still need surveillance and compliance, but the shift is really going to be towards efficiency specialists who can fix underperforming systems. If only 5% are working and 95% are failing, the shift is going to be towards, how do we get this working? We've spent this amount of money. Let's focus on getting every bit out of these systems that we already implemented that isn't working, and let's make it work. And what this does is it creates two completely different career paths depending on tonight's results. You have expansion specialists. If Nvidia crushes it, you have optimization specialists if Nvidia disappoints. And that's what you're going to have. Expansion if they crush it. They have optimization if they disappoint. Let's say they crush the expectations. They go out there and nail it, right? Then companies are going to accelerate the AI deployment across all departments. More systems require more compliance monitoring, more surveillance jobs. The surveillance jobs are going to multiply. AI surveillance implementation specialists, employee AI compliance trainers, corporate AI ethics consultants. The expansion is going to cause for significant hiring in these areas. And companies need people immediately. They need people immediately. And they're going to be willing to train the right people. If Nvidia disappoints, then companies are going to slow down the AI spending, and they're going to focus on fixing the systems that isn't delivering the results that they wanted. They need efficiency experts who can optimize their current solutions that's not working. They need efficiency experts who can optimize the surveillance without any additional investment. This is where they're going to tighten the belt on you. You better hope Nvidia crushes it, because they're going to be tightening the belt even more. They're going to expect that 49% of individuals who aren't using AI to start using it. And they're going to be forcing you to use it. And they're going to do some things. They're going to make examples out of people. They're going to make examples out of people. This is where AI system performance analysts are going to be created, surveillance ROI optimization consultants, AI compliance efficiency specialists. These are optimization roles that require deep expertise and higher barriers of entry, but also higher compensation because the skills are rare. You individuals who are on this chat and watch this show, you guys are the smart individuals who position yourself for both scenarios. Either way, right? Doesn't matter. You're watching this show. You position yourself for the right opportunity. They crush it, you go this way. They don't crush it, you go this way. Don't wait to see the market direction. Prepare now. This is why we talk about using AI today, using it to enhance your knowledge, using it to really understand the data behind it. This is why we had AI and me on the show last week to give you guys a game on how to leverage AI to get to where you ultimately want to get to. But what are analysts saying? This is what analysts are saying on Nvidia. Okay. Before we do that, appreciate you, brother Ralph. Ralph with the $4.99 super chat. He says, sending love to you, brother Anton. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother Ralph. Had a conversation with brother Ralph last night, and brother Ralph is heading towards the cloud direction. He's making these pivots as well. And he sees the opportunities. And he's all the way in San Diego, so it's early for him. Daily climb. Now, this is what Wall Street is expecting from Nvidia. Revenue to be between 45 to 47 million. Earnings per share around $1. Stock could swing 6.5% either direction, up or down. Wall Street, they ultimately want to know if AI infrastructure spending continues, or are companies going to slow down their investments. 9 analysts raised their price targets this week. They said they're going to be crushing it. 9 analysts are saying that Nvidia is crushing it, and they're going to continue to crush it. The average target, $194 per share, with 13% upside if results deliver on expectations. And like, regardless of the beat or the miss, Nvidia results trigger immediate hiring decisions at thousands of companies. Applications submitted before earnings, guys, get reviewed. So for you who are looking for your job opportunities, applications submitted before earnings get reviewed first. After results announcements, job boards are going to be flooded with applicants reacting to the news, beating the rush. You know, you're ultimately in a position right now, knowing what you know now, so that you can beat the rush of people. It's kind of like getting in line of an event before the event was announced. You know how a lot of the times let's just say you go to a concert, you got to queue in line for hours and hours and hours, or your Black Friday shopping, you got to queue in line for hours and hours and hours. This is like knowing that there's a Black Friday event, and you get to the line before they announce it. Apply before everybody else does. Let me give you guys a strategy now of things that you can execute in your career regarding this AI surveillance, the corporate surveillance, because I do think that's important. I'm going to give, if AI is, taking jobs, if AI is creating new jobs, then you want to position yourself to potentially be part of the jobs that are being created. And these jobs that are being created, they pay freaking well. They pay very, very well. And like, the jobs I'm talking about is surveillance, compliance. I mean, you want to target companies that are implementing Google, Amazon, Apple surveillance policies who need legal protection from lawsuits. Why does this work? Well, companies copying big tech surveillance, they don't understand the legal requirements. They're desperate for experts who can prevent Apple-style privacy violations. Some of the skills required for a position like this: the law basics, employment law basics, privacy regulation knowledge, AI monitoring technology, risk assessment capabilities. Salary expectations for a job like this, $95,000 to $195,000. Huge opportunity. I mean, like, every company announcing AI surveillance creates compliance specialist demand. Mid-sized companies, these are the ones that are going to especially need it because they lack the dedicated legal teams. Then you have your AI system optimization career path. So target companies with underperforming AI investments who need efficiency improvements. So those 95% of companies who did AI pilots and they failed, these are the companies that need help. These are the companies that also need surveillance. The 95% talked about how data was one of the reasons why these projects failed. It also talked about how just bad implementations. So they need people who can implement this stuff. And it requires for you to have industry experience, an understanding of data, and be able to use AI. Salary you can make $105,000 to $270,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So target these companies. Target the companies using AI for employment decisions who need protection from discrimination lawsuits. Target the companies who are looking to get a return on their investment from the AI spend that they already have invested, that are failing, that is failing. This is a game. This is the game. Where to apply? Well, if you need to apply somewhere, if let's just say Nvidia beats expectations, then target companies expanding AI surveillance, the Google copycats, the Amazon copycats, basically enterprise AI vendors. Copy those guys and apply to those guys. If Nvidia misses, then target consulting companies, companies with failed AI implementations, organizations needing efficiency improvements. Either direction, mid-sized companies copying big tech surveillance without legal expertise. That's where you want to go. And like Stanford, the Stanford report that we talked about, it basically proved that AI has eliminated entry-level jobs. AI has also targeted young men's jobs because it eliminated 13% of young men's jobs. Corporations need expertise who can manage these systems legally. You guys aren't victims here. If you position yourself as the solution to the problem, you're going to get paid a whole bunch of money. While a whole bunch of people are going to be competing for entry-level jobs that are disappearing, they're still going to be going to college, listen to their mom and dad about getting the basket weaving degrees and coming on the market with these jobs, looking for jobs that ultimately are eliminated. You guys know where to look, where to tell your nieces and nephews where to look. While others are fearing that they're going to be monitored by AI and potentially get fired, you guys are going to become the experts who implements it. And we can become the police. Say, I got you. That's how you do it. I mean, that's just how you play the game. Let me close with the most important part of the show, okay? The fighting back piece of it. With all these jobs being eliminated and corporate really launching the biggest employee surveillance operation. You got the Googles, you got the Amazons, you got the Apples. They all are spying on workers. And if your company isn't doing it right now, believe me, they will become copycats. I'm like, when that MIT study came out, everybody was talking about it. Everybody thinks they know why. They're all copy each other. The executives hear about it, and then next thing you know, they want to implement it. So with all this going on with these big companies, smaller companies, mid-sized companies are going to be looking to do it as well too. Everybody copies each other's thoughts, right? So position yourself to be a part of it. Be a part of the solution. This is how you create career opportunities for yourself. This is how you win. You have to be able to adapt and pivot. If it's going in one direction and it's not the right direction to go, make a switch. I mean, you now have intelligence on corporate America so that you don't get exposed. You know which jobs were stolen. You know who stole jobs. You know how surveillance works. You know a little bit about privacy rights. You know if companies can be in legal trouble or not by doing this sort of stuff. You guys know. I know as well too now. That's why yesterday, I told you guys I was using my company's AI that they gave us, started using it even more. I'm like, man, they watching, so I got to go ahead and start using it a little bit more. I use other tools. AI is something that I do daily, and I use it daily often. I use it before the show, but I don't necessarily use the tools that my company provides to me because I wanted some privacy. But now that they're requiring it, compliance and so forth, I got to use the tools. And they say that you can use it for personal reasons as well too. And some of the tools that they have given us is pretty good. I got to say, it's good. I just didn't want them knowing the tools and what I was doing. So, but now I gotta do it. I'm playing the game, just like you all are. Playing the game. Better learn how to do it. But position yourself strategically. Turn these job deaths into opportunities for yourself. If you get into corporate surveillance, make them pay you a whole bunch of money. Get to the bag. As we all like to say, get to the 250, the $250,000, the 500. You know how to execute now. Guys, tomorrow at 7 a.m., we're going to analyze the Nvidia results. That's going to be part of our execution strategies. I'm going to try to bring a guest in tomorrow as well, too. I don't know who that guest is yet because I didn't have a lot of time yesterday prepare dealing with my my daughter's situation and not getting the rest that I wanted last night. But we'll see if I'm able to find an individual to come on here tomorrow to give us some games about careers. I appreciate you guys. It's already 8 o'clock. It's 8:04 actually. Thank you so much for you guys tuning in today. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully my energy levels were up. I tried to make them up, but you know, you have these days. Every day isn't going to be the same as long as you keep pushing. That's how we do it. Good to see you, Jabron. Good to see you, Monica. Good to see you, Jason. Good to see you, Lynn. Lynn is coming to us all the way from Africa, I believe. Teresa, good to see you. I don't know how to see it. Theria Spinners 07, good to see you. Ralph, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. MJ Cannabis, PBO. Deron says, here's your box. Security will walk you out. That's exactly what happens if you don't do it. Daniel Lugo in the house. Toaster in the house. I love it. Jay Price is in the house. I love it, man. You guys are all awesome. Good to see you. Monica, she says your first time here? Wow. Your first time here, huh? Well, come back. We would love to have you back, Monica. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button and share it with your friends as well, too, if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much. Go in and crush your day. It's time to get to work. I'm 5 minutes behind already. See you guys tomorrow.